I would say tougher ones, because all of us in our life really do battle this one thing, which is of course nutrition and being looking fit and feeling good. So hopefully we're going to learn something out of this session that we didn't know about before. I have Ishiji with me. She's helped me a lot. I'm a cancer survivor myself, and during my cancer treatment, ma'am really helped me out with sending out a perfect diet plan, which really helped me bounce back to life as you see me today. So of course, I understand personally the value of nutrition, the value of a good diet. So I'm going to begin, of course, by asking you, ma'am, every day we're flooded with information today on the internet. There are so many people who claim to be nutritionists or dietitians who've done something that may have worked for them, and then they share that information out. I want to understand from you, what are perhaps the top diet fads today, which you would like to use our platform to bust?
Well, first of all, thank you, NewsX, for having me, and lovely to have you here, Devika,
yes,
on this panel with me.
Likewise.
With our history in the back. And it's lovely to see you glowing and doing so well.
Thank you, ma'am.
And to answer your question, really, as a practicing clinical nutritionist, as a, just like an observer, I feel that nutrition has sort of failed us. The more we are getting aware, the more intelligent we are getting about food with a nutrition perspective, we have created too much of a mess. And the reason being that we have looked at food only with a telescopic angle. We're just breaking down food into nutrients, proteins, carbohydrates, fats, calories, so on and so forth. And it's getting much more complex, and this information being shared with the public has made it even more lopsided, because it's difficult to teach a community science which is to be understood by the professionals. So I think this is one of the very strong sentiments that I've been voicing of late, simply because the fads, like you said, today protein has become a very big issue that everybody, even my colleagues, my medical professionals around me, are calling me and saying, I think we are not making enough protein, we're not eating enough. I think we need that powder. Should I take whey? Should I take soya? Should I take veg protein? What should I do? That's just an example of where things are headed and how things get so difficult to communicate to the public and to the professionals in healthcare. Give you examples of now cholesterol, fat-free diets. All of that we've done. We've done low calorie, we've done low fat, we've done carbohydrate counting, we've done Atkins and South Beach, and today I think the top ones are the ketos and the intermittent fasting. Those are the ones which are doing the rounds. And what does it really tell you? It tells you the need and the desperation for something which is not being achieved.
Okay.
We are not heading anywhere with diets. So we need to relook and rethink of food and food as food, because the number one reason to eat food is, besides our hunger, is pleasure.
Right.
We cannot just become so oblivious of food, and I think Gunjan being here would understand as a culinary expert that unless the food tastes well, it's not going to, no matter how healthy it is, no matter how right it is in your calories and your proteins, it will not be successful. So we have much more deeper, we need to look at food much more deeply, but without trying to sound very abstract and philosophical. We have to look at food in food groups. That is the easiest way to understand.
Right.
When we have cereals, we have pulses, we have our proteins in animal food, we have the vegetables and fruits, and we have the fats and the nuts and seeds and oils. And that's about all that is needed. And whether it's sugar or processed food, etc., everybody knows today that they are not the best for us. However, knowledge is not translating into action, because there are elements in processed foods, in sugars and some other foods, which make it absolutely impossible to regulate for
Okay.
us. They are addictive.
Yes.
So
Yes.
we cannot, I mean, I know that this is not good for me, but I'm going to still have it because my brain is not. So the reason why this is happening is we have to look into the gut. That whole narrative about the gut has become very, very well understood today. And
Yes.
who is controlling us is our gut microbiome.
So, Ishiji, on that note, I want to understand from you. For example, I'm a person who maybe craves a lot of sugar or craves a lot of salt. Is there a sign of some sort of a deficiency in my body, or is my body indicating something?
100%. 100%. When you are craving, that means there is some imbalance in your system, whether it's not having enough protein or not having enough fat or fiber or not having a good balance of the good bacteria and the bad bacteria. We all have that microbiome, which is the little tiny organisms which we don't even see with the naked eye. They are only seen through a microscope. So they are so small, but they are really the ones which are controlling our hunger, are controlling our appetite and our eating behavior and our cravings. So when they are not happy, they are going to tell you to eat the wrong food, and your food intake, your regulation, amount of food is going to get altered. This morning I had a patient, and she is in her just about her 50s, and she said, I can't understand that, because she's been on my diet for the last 1.5 months, and she said, I can't understand why I'm not able to eat beyond a point now. I thought I could eat 2-3 meals, but now I had a chila in the morning and I went for a dosa, but I couldn't look at it. I only came back with coffee. So the regulation is kicking in.
Right.
So I see it every day. I see it with my patients and I see the science. So therefore, the narrative in terms of going on diets, this, that, and that has to change, and it has to be now what we call personalized diets.
Okay, I want to bring Dr. Anjali Huda into the conversation as well. Dr. Huda, as far as prevention is concerned, I want to first begin by understanding, are there any telltale signs or symptoms of disease within our bodies that one can look out for?
Yeah, in our daily lives, we can see this very commonly. The usual, especially in women, I see a lot of fatigue. There is a lot of hair fall, or there is heavy period, or they're feeling very cold, or they're having stomach upset. There is depression, there is anxiety, there is high amount of thirst. Sometimes there's a lot of urination, frequent UTIs. So these are the things that are very commonly I see in my practice, and also a lot of my people, that my friends and family that I'm talking to. Most of the people, and of course weight gain is also a very big problem with a woman who's sort of going through menopause. So these are the things that our body needs some addressing in that. So yeah.
So how does a woman who's going through menopause, and you said that there will be certain physical signs of a weight gain, but then there'll also be mental changes that she's suffering
there will be
from.
mood changes.
So how does one identify that, okay, this is something that my body is reacting to, and how does one deal with that?
Yeah, so when you talk of women going through menopause, because this is a woman-oriented event, and I would like to put some things there, that a lot of women will go through aches and pains, mood changes, hair fall, hot flashes, vaginal dryness, osteoporosis, and these are things which are preventable. These are not something that you have to live with. There are a lot of people who don't have a bad menopause. They live very well, but because of the way we live these days, there's so much toxins around in the environment. So we are not we're not living a life which is pure and sleeping on time, eating well, exercising. I think because of that, menopause has become a very difficult a part of a woman's life, and a lot of things go wrong around that time. So when we talk of preventive health, I think we should focus on, when you're perimenopausal, I think one visit to your gynec is very important. Obviously doing the pap smear and the mammogram and everything, but also checking up your hormones, a DEXA scan, which I think a lot of people don't do. And whenever they're like 60, 70, they'll say, oh, I've never checked my bone density. It should have been checked at 50. The first DEXA scan should be done at 50. So if you can just know that these are the things that you're going through, there is solution to it. There is solution through diet. You would know that. No, Dr. Ishi Khosla would know that. There's solution through supplements. There's solution through lifestyle changes. And of course, there is hormone replacement also, which is now gaining a lot of momentum.
Okay, if I were to talk about specifically supplements, we're also living in a world where supplements have really become another key word. Everyone wants to insert some sort of supplement into their diets. And Gunjanji, I'll come to you in just a moment, but Ishi ma'am, back to you for just a second. As far as supplements are concerned, how does one today go about understanding what supplements do we actually need?
Yes, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry today, and for good reasons now. Because, but before I start, I'd just like to say that supplements are supplements by the word supplements. They are not substitutes for food. And secondly, that unless you focus on the gut, I'm talking again about the gut, that if you do not address gut health, your supplements are not going to serve you very well. It'll be like a bucket which has holes that you keep filling it up, but it's leaking. It's like your leaky gut. The leaky gut literally is virtually a leaky affair, and it's meant to absorb your nutrients, but when it's unhealthy, and again go back to the unhealthy balance of the microbiome, they are not going to be absorbed. So the minute you stop supplementing, they dip again. So supplements without addressing gut health is not very smart, so that's also important. And thirdly, because we're talking about women here, women are probably more vulnerable to deficiencies and micronutrient deficiencies, particularly since we have a life cycle with a lot of hormonal changes. First from the menstrual point of view, then we have pregnancy, then we have menopause. So those also adversely affect or negatively affect our gut microbiome, and hence we are more at risk for for deficiencies and needing supplements. And among the topmost supplements that I feel women need, of course, everyone understands iron deficiency in the reproductive age and pregnancy, but we see it even beyond that now. So that and vitamin B12 is one which is really, again, critically low in most of my patients. And here, again, I'd like to use this opportunity to bust a myth that, people come back and say, oh, we are vegetarians, that's why hamara B12 to kam hoga. And I see a critically low levels in people, men and women, who eat non-veg 3 times a day. So it's not about non-vegetarian food, it's about what you're absorbing and how healthy your gut is. Okay. And so B12 and vitamin D, of course, we all understand is an epidemic in terms of deficiency, and a land where, again, we have no dearth of sunshine, and exposed people, professionals to sunshine, our soldiers, our golfers, our sports people are also critically low, because this vitamin is not just a vitamin, it's also a sort of a pro-hormone, and it helps in inflammation control. So the more inflammation in our body, the lower your vitamin D levels. So that's a very critical deficiency which we need to address through supplements. Okay. And I see that in my patients who follow my diet, who are on an anti-inflammatory diet, their vitamin D levels don't dip, even if they don't take supplements. So we see the science both ways. And if you don't follow a good diet, your levels will keep dipping every time you stop supplementing. And of course, calcium is one which all women are prescribed if they go to a professional. But I have to add here that simply adding calcium without magnesium is a fatal mistake. Okay. And magnesium deficiency, unfortunately, has not been addressed, and it's not recognized in mainstream healthcare. And also for the fact that even if you test for magnesium, it's not the right way of assessing magnesium levels. Yes. So magnesium deficiency goes unnoticed and unrecognized for this reason, and it should not be checked, because people then come back and say, oh, our magnesium was normal, so we didn't take it. We are all deficient in magnesium for 2 reasons. A, we are not absorbing it, and also our food is not as rich in magnesium. And so calcium and magnesium ratio needs to be understood and prescribed by a professional, and it must be a part of every woman's diet.
Yes.
And every prescription, and magnesium-rich foods must be
So
focused
coming
on.
to the diet part of it, Gunjanji, if I can bring you into the conversation, if I am a young woman, working woman, how do I chart out my day as far as my diet is concerned? What would you recommend?
She has given enough directions for that, I should say. I would firstly like a small request to everybody present. Please understand and listen to your body. Your body speaks 1,000 words. So when she said that, somebody is not low on magnesium and actually they needed magnesium, the body will tell you what is magnesium. Lack of magnesium means you're not sleeping well, if I'm correct. So avocado is the answer. Try and find out. You don't have to always take pills. That's what I would like to suggest. You can come to the natural food. Follow the season and follow what your body actually needs. Somebody said that, you want to eat sugar and you don't know why, but your body says you want to have something which is sweet. There is a reason. Have it. There is nothing wrong in having it. And just to share with you, what's wrong if you're a kilo plus or minus? It doesn't matter. You should be happy, your body should be happy, and you should try the food that gives you a pleasure. That's most important. Rather than, we follow that we're not going to eat fats. They're very, very important. Let me tell you, if you have a high protein diet and there is no fat, the gut is not going to absorb that protein. It's just going to pass through your gut. So fat is very, very important. A live example I'll give is when you have puri, we don't use a very fine, refined flour. We have a little coarse flour in it. And that coarse flour will only be digested if there is enough fat. And that is why a puri is made from a coarse flour and you're able to digest it. You feel more satiated. So there is a question for every food that you eat. Why is it so? And the nature has made it. Let me tell you, just follow the Indian gastronomy principles and you'll find your answers. Of course, I can go on, I can keep on talking about it, but certain respect should be given to yourself, to your body, and your requirements.
Ma'am, top 3 foods that women can add to their diets or must add to their diets?
Come again?
Top 3 foods or nutrients that women must add to their diets, and what are the sources that are actually available to the masses?
Okay, I'll give a live example of milk. Everybody nowadays say, no, you shouldn't have milk, but you can have soya milk, you can have almond milk. Is that a milk? Those are extracts. Milk is from a mammal. Always remember that. And that's a complete milk. That's a complete food. And I tell everybody, please don't give up on milk. All right? If you have certain issues, you're gastric, try and have a little haldi with it. Try and have an ajwain. Balance your food. Now, balance is the key word, and season is the most important thing to have. Like as you said, the 3 important food, I would say milk is very important. Everyone should have, if not milk, you could have curd, you could have paneer. So you're breaking the fats in a different form, but you're having your calciums. The other thing, as you said, magnesium. Yes, everybody is having a hectic lifestyle. So you don't get enough sleep. Try and have food which has maximum magnesium. It could be avocado. It could be any other seasonal food. The best thing I advise is follow the season. Unfortunately, ghia, tori, tinda we used to find in summers, but now it's round the year. So everybody gets confused. Is this the season to eat these squashes or not? And then when do you eat cauliflower? When do you eat cabbage? It's the winters. And that is when the digestion demands for those kind of foods.
Okay.
If you try and eat cauliflower in summer, you're sure to form a gas. So I would not say that these 3 particular foods are most important. I say eat anything which is seasonal. Okay. Try and eating a mango in winter. You may not enjoy it as much.
Yes.
The taste buds won't be that to that, and the fruit will not be cooling to your gut. The fruit will not cool your body. It is meant to cool your body, and that is why it is made for summers. Try and having an orange juice in summer. You may not enjoy as much as you might enjoy an orange eating on a sunny day.
Absolutely.
So there is a reason, because vitamin C is absorbed by the body when you have enough vitamin D. And sun is nothing but vitamin D.
Yes.
So you have to make these combinations and permutations, and there is no fixed rule. Food is not a fixed thing. It is all about you, your personal preferences, your personal choices. And let me tell you, you can tell your children that why shouldn't they eat ghiya, tori, tinda, parmal, bengan? Why an aversion to it? It's a part of a diet. And it's very much that it should be present.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, I'm guilty of being a ghiya, tori, tinda hater. But I have incorporated it in my diet. Dr. Huda, I leave the last word with you. 30 seconds. Your top recommendations to women today in terms of lifestyle changes that you would want. Top 3 habits to introduce.
I think the most important habit is weightlifting. I think weightlifting can really change a woman's bone structure, give her good muscles and a lot of strength and mood, good mood. Second would be to take 8 hours of sleep, no matter what. No matter how you do it, take magnesium, take melatonin, just sleep for 8 hours. And third would be drink lots of water, because water can neutralize a lot of our toxins.
And as far as weightlifting is concerned, because that's interesting, any myth you want to bust as far as with age you should not be lifting weights?
No, we should lift more when we are aging. Because that is when the bones are weak and the muscles are getting into hypotonic stage. You know, you're becoming like untoned. So that is the time. I think weightlifting should ideally start early, but if you haven't started, you can start at 50, you can start at 60, you can start at any age. Weightlifting is a must.
Well, on that note, that's all the time that I've had with this, with Ishi Khosta, Dr. Anjali Huda and Gunjan Goyla. Thank you so much to all of our panelists for joining us.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.